Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Networking at Noon. I am your host, Tiffanie Kellog. So very excited to be here today to talk a little bit about business. And I'm joined today by Cathy Baird. Cathy, say hello.
Hi there.
And where in the world are you coming to us from?
I'm in Waltham, Massachusetts.
And for people that have no idea where that is.
In the Northeast.
Okay, well, but I mean, what's it close to in Massachusetts?
Oh, I see, Boston. Like 20 minutes west of Boston.
All right. Yeah, I had never heard of it before. I did the breast cancer 3-day walk in Boston back in 2012. And I'm like, oh, I've actually heard of it. But not everybody has. So super excited to have Cathy here with us. She is with Relate and Appreciate, which definitely has a lot to do with creating those relationships. So Cathy, can you tell me a little bit about what it is that you do at Relate and Appreciate, why you do it, all of that fun stuff, so we can get to know a little bit about you.
Sure. So I help professionals to connect with their customers and their clients through cards and gifts and wine. It's all about building that relationship, making those connections with your customers. And on the flip side as well, with prospects, when you're trying to prospect, you want to keep connected with them on a consistent basis, so we can automate different programs to reach out to them through direct mail and with gifts and things like that as well.
So who do you find are some of the clients that you love to work with the most?
So I like it, and it's not by industry necessarily, but it's the type of person. So energetic people who really want to appreciate their customers, who really want to appreciate their employees, who really want to connect and are really focused on the relationship itself, because and they can understand the importance of their clients and their prospects in general. Those people are very fun to work with because they get it already. It's not something I have to, show them how or why or anything. Plus, the energetic ones and the creative ones, they get into it and they're like, oh yeah, that's great. And what about this? And it's just, it's a lot of energy and fun.
So tell me one creative way people use your products to help connect, to relate and appreciate.
Sure. So a lot of it has to do with gifts. We have a lot of different gifts that you can send to prospect and to clients that you can personalize. So for example, we have brownies, and we have brownies that you can actually put your logo on or message or whatnot on the package of the brownie. So you can really personalize it, but it's great because you can actually put it in this box and you can put this message on it that or in your card that says, here's a gift. I'm just trying to get some brownie points. It's all about being creative in the message that you're trying to give. And when you're memorable like that, then they're going to keep you top of mind and say, hey, I got this great card or this great gift from someone as they're talking to others about you.
So let's say I'm not creative. That's not me. Sometimes I'm creative, but sometimes it's hard to be creative about our own stuff. So let's say that I'm not very creative. Is that something like, do you have kind of, I don't want to say a book of ideas, but in your head, you have like, here are some really creative ways that you can use the things that we have in case we're not very creative?
Yeah, no. And actually those are folks that I like to work with too, because they struggle and they can't do it themselves. And so I like to come in and help them with that in a couple of different ways. One being, that's where I shine. Like, I love thinking outside the box. Like, how can I be creative for you? For example, I created this card for Surf Pro restoration, and it was a postcard, and it just it had a picture of moldy cheese, like blue cheese, and then it had a picture of a house on the bottom of the postcard, and it said mold belongs here, and pointed to the cheese, and not here, and pointed at the house. So it's stuff like that's fun, and it's a postcard, so when it goes to somebody, they're going to look and they're like, what is this? And it catches their eye. So
yeah, it's interesting. Postcards used to be a thing, and I don't remember what I was watching the other day. I watch all kinds of crazy stuff. But postcards originally, back in the day, people didn't have cameras, so a lot of times people would buy postcards for like reminders of the trips they're taking. But really, postcards have kind of gone out of fashion for the most part. So do you feel like, is it a little old fashioned, or is it more of a, hey, we're bringing back a classic?
So, yeah, I actually think that, yes, on the personal side, people don't necessarily send postcards anymore because they can just email it to people. They post it on Facebook, all of that. So you really don't need to, people don't do that as much anymore. However, when it comes to business, it's actually coming back, and it's actually here. When you think about the past 18 months and how much people are online and how many emails they're getting and how many messages, and it's all electronic all the time, it's a little overwhelming. So when you can go to your mailbox and you get this personalized card in the mail that's personalized for you, either the postcard has your name on it or it has something that pertains to you. It is not a bill. It is not a grocery flyer, and it makes you smile, and in actuality, people read their mail from the mailbox, something like that, a lot more often than they do, emails could get lost.
Yeah, that makes sense, because if you think about it, you probably open your email box and you have 20, 30, 40, 50 new emails. And that doesn't even count how many emails that you have still in there. Like, I'm a zero gal. Let's keep it at zero. But I know there's a lot of people. I was talking to a gentleman yesterday. He's like, yeah, I've got 2,511 emails in my inbox. And I'm like, that alone would make me so anxious. But I get so little mail. I mean, most of it, you're right, is ads and bills.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if it's something personal that has to do with me, yeah, that does definitely stand out.
Yeah, exactly. And you can add more personalization to it, because you can group people. For example, if you know this subset of people for your clients, like wine, for example, we have wine. So if they like wine, you can send them a QR code on the back of the postcard that links to an article where it helps you pair wine with food, or it's, you're just helping them. So it's not all about you. It should never be all about you. It's like the 80-20 rule, it's got to be helpful information out there for the customer or the prospect. And then every so often sprinkle a little bit about, oh, by the way, did you know that I also do this kind of thing?
Gotcha. So I'm all, tangent. I'm like, ooh, wine. So I'm all about, what's your favorite brew? And we'll get to that at the end. But wine is not something that's brewed. So it kind of falls outside the brewing process. But what is your favorite kind of wine? I know that's such a massive question, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is, because you've got your red wine drinkers, you got your white wine drinkers, you got your sparkling wine drinkers, you got your rosé, all of that. For me, I've always tended to drink red wine a lot more than white wine. In the summer, I like sparkling. My favorite this summer is we have a sparkling Moscato, and then we also have a sparkling almond. And those really cold on a hot day is really refreshing.
So for those of you watching, if you're into wine, what is your favorite wine? Do me a favor and drop that in the comments. Let us know what is your favorite wine. I'm sitting here as I ask you the question. I always hate the question, what's your favorite? Because it's like, do I really have to pick? Because rarely I have. But I'm like, if I'm picking, typically I'll go Pinot. And if it's red, Noir. If it's white, Grigio. Though I'm a pretty equal opportunity drinker. As long as it's not sweet, I'm usually open to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And that's true too. And one thing that I like to do, because like I mentioned before, we do offer gifts that have wine. And so when I'm talking to people about when they want to give a gift to someone, they may not know what that person likes to drink. So sometimes it has nothing to do with the wine itself, and it has to do with, well, what do they like to do? Because a lot of our gifts have, dog toys in them. So if they're a dog person, that's a good gift, or cat toys, or right, exactly.
So you gotta have the puppy. So Callie she doesn't come to every networking at noon, but I know how much you love your puppy. We'll talk about Milo in a minute. I'm like, we may end up talking dogs. So hey, I'm the type that I want the one with the dog toys. Except she doesn't actually play with dog toys.
She just kind of seems like she
her whole family, like none of them are toy dogs. I'm like, I would see these cute toys, and I'm like, no. Anyway, sorry, distracted dogs. So we've got wine with dog stuff. What else?
Yeah, there's also, the food is also in there, so you can get the cheeses and the meats and the crackers and things. Sometimes it's just like champagne flutes. I don't know why I happen to have one right here, but champagne flutes. So it can come with a couple champagne flutes with the champagne, and so there's a gift for everyone.
Oh, really. Cool. And so how do you usually work with clients? How do you help them figure out what the right gift is for them to be giving?
Yeah. And it really depends on whether they're trying to give one gift or whether they are looking to come up with a program, a plan to give to a bunch of people. If it's just one gift, I really, sometimes they have an idea. Sometimes it might be a price point. Sometimes it's what I want to know more about the person that they're giving the gift to, because it's all about that person, not about what the person who's giving the gift likes, but what the person receiving it would like. So I ask a lot of questions that way. And then I might give them a few options. Well, based on what you told me, here are a few options. And then they can choose from there. If it's for their prospects or their customers, then it often has to do with their industry and what they're doing. So for example, with a realtor, we have measuring tapes that you can personalize and put their name on it. And then you can give them a gift, a card that says, how did we measure up? Or it could be any other industry, like how did we measure up kind of thing. So it's actually kind of, a play on words kind of thing there too.
That's awesome. So I know you mentioned, gifts for prospects and for clients. Do you do any type of referral rewards programs ever?
Yeah. So we have, I personally do one myself. And then we also have affiliate programs as well, that you can earn rewards back from that. So like with the wine, you have you earn rewards there. Or also just in general, I think it's good for companies in general to have some sort of program to reward their clients on. So whether it's something that they put together or not, they can actually automate it or whatnot. So that's actually something that I could help clients with as well, because you can say, you know what, every time I get a referral, I want to send them this. And then you just create that. So all you have to do is add them to that program, and it just automatically sends it out with a nice message and personalizes it. But you definitely need to, you need to have a program put in place just so you know where you want to go when you get those referrals.
Gotcha. Excellent. So if people are like, ooh, I do need some help with whether it's a referral program or client appreciation, or I want to help close these prospects so they say yes and they use me, how can they reach out and find you?
Yeah. So my website has all my contact information. You can book time with me. You can email me or give me a call. All of that information's up there. And I'm actually in the process of also putting up a form online there, so you can actually give me some more information before I even reach out to you. So we can save a little bit of time there, and I can learn more about you before we hop on a call or whatnot. So.
And that website, I popped it up on the screen. It is Relate and Appreciate, so you can check her out there. So I know we've talked a lot about your business, though my thing is I like people more money, more time, more fun. So we have to talk about that third component, the fun. So what do you like to do for fun?
Yeah, I play a lot of tennis. There have been times when I could play like practically every day. I used to play 5 or 6 times a week, but obviously with COVID, we had to stop for just a short period of time. And then we had to wear masks when we played. But now I'm back playing again. But when I'm not on the tennis court, many people have met my dog, my dog Milo, which is, right there in that picture right there. And he's sleeping over there. I take him to the park. We also go canoeing. Hopefully in a couple weeks, we're going to be going up to Maine for a long weekend. For a 3-day weekend, 19 miles down the Saco, and he spends the whole time in the river, which means I spend the whole time in the water with him. So, and then hiking and anything with friends where we can get together now that things have opened up, You know, it's great to be able to. We just went to dim sum for the very first time in 18 months last weekend, so that was great to see everyone. So
we're back in person, getting to do stuff sometimes.
yeah, sometimes, yes. I've been to the movies 2 or 3 times, which was great. That's also fun when it's 90 degrees out, and when my AC was broken, it was a very really good to go and stay somewhere cool.
Yeah, that's never a fun situation to be in. So, what's one thing you want to make sure people know about you?
One thing that people should know about me is that I know a lot of people might say this about themselves as well, but I really want to see my customers succeed and reach their goals and be successful in growing their businesses. And I really focus on that, and I make it, my number one goal to work with people to do that. And it makes me very happy to see when they are successful that way.
Awesome. So we do have a question. So you talked about cards. How do you write a thank you note in business?
I'm not sure I understand the question, but
it says how to write a business thank you note.
Okay. So I think that it's good to personalize it, and there's ways that you can, you should always do a thank you note. You should always be sending thank you notes. You can do them actually handwriting them and mailing them. You can do email as well. But you can also use our system where you can actually personalize it with names and really personal information that you have in their system. And you should really focus on them and what they did and what it means to you and how important it is that it happened. Like, for example, if it was for a sale, thank you for this, for this opportunity. And I hope that, I look forward to working with you in the future. But it's got to be timely as well. Like, if something happened a month ago and you thank them now, you really have to pay attention to, like, right after it happens, to thank them, and then thank them periodically when they're not even expecting it. For example, even though they haven't made a sale or they haven't purchased anything lately, thank them for being a loyal customer, or thank them for things like that out of the blue, because that goes a long way as well.
Gotcha. Awesome. Super cool. So a couple more questions for you. The first is, what is your one top tip, your suggestion for the general public out there watching here? If you could give them one tip, what would that be?
Sure. I would say that my one tip for the general population would be consistency. And connecting, periodically, whether it's monthly, whether it's quarterly or whatnot, just reaching out. And it's good to automate things like that, because then you can save time, but still have that connection. Because if you get busy and you forget to do it, all of a sudden it's 3 months down the line and you're not top of mind anymore. So.
Excellent. Now, the last question I have for you is, what's your favorite brew? Though this needs to be something that's brewed. So coffee, tea, kombucha, beer, and liquor is brewed. Unfortunately, wine is not brewed.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I'm sorry.
You up.
Okay, my favorite brew. I can tell you what my not favorite ones are. I do not drink coffee or anything like that. I guess if I had to brew something, I would say tea. Tea would be my favorite my go-to, but not in the summer. Only in the winter.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And what's your favorite beverage if we open it up to?
Right, exactly. I'm not a beer drinker, although I do a pub crawl every year. Anyway. I would say it would be, I love mimosas. And it doesn't have to be, it can be like a peach teeny, like a with peach or strawberry or whatnot. It's a great way to, start your Sunday before brunch or with brunch or with friends. It's all about social stuff too. So.
Mimosas are always really good by the pool because, they're nice and refreshing, or at the beach. I'm in Florida, so we're always looking for good waterside beverages.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. A friend of mine and I used to always drink mimosas when we'd watch our Red Sox games. I don't know why we'd do that. We joked that we were fighting scurvy, but whatever.
Whatever happens to work for you.
Right. Exactly.
All right. So y'all do be sure to check out Relate and Appreciate. Super glad to have you here with us today on our networking at noon with us, Cathy. Now, I know you just completed, because this is hosted by Asentiv, and you just completed Asentiv's Ignite Your Business program. So if somebody hasn't taken the program, what would you share with them about what's been able to create for you?
Yeah. I talk about that program all the time with everybody, at least once a day, because it was a great program for me. And it's great for many different reasons. And there are different aspects of it. Obviously, the main reason why people think about the reason why they want to join that program is because they want to build their business from referrals, and you want to grow your referral marketing and all of that. But I mean, as it helped me to really hone in on my target market, because I've been all over the place over the past year. Like it's ebbed and flowed and everything. So it really, I think what you said was what makes you the most money, but is the most fun for you, and you have the most fun doing. And that really helped me to think like, okay, what is that? And then also, creating my mission statement and my vision. So it wasn't just all about how to create those referrals. It's also how to build your business out to be something that is referable as well. So.
Gotcha. Love it. Very cool. Well, anything else you would like to share with our watchers as we are beginning to wrap up our networking at noon today?
No, this was great. I love it. And say hello to all the viewers. But if anybody is ever interested in just even chatting about what the possibilities could bring them, I would be happy to chat and would love to see any creative things that I could come up with for them.
So do be sure to check out relateandappreciate.com. You can find all of Cathy's information there and see some of the things that she's done. It has been a pleasure having you here with us today, Cathy, for our networking at noon. Next week, do tune in. We will be talking with Phil Bedford, who is with Asentiv in Dubai. We've got some tips on like how can you take some stuff that you do for fun and use it to create business. And so I look forward to seeing you Thursdays at noon Eastern time in the US, though you can always check us out on YouTube for the, replay, if you call it that. And we want to just say happy networking, y'all.